Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening kung anong oras nyo man ito napapanood. I am Joshua Masalapos, HRM3A. Today, we're going to report about Book 5 of Labor Relations presented by Group 6. I hope na kahit ito ay video lang ay may matutunan kayo sa aming discuss for today's video. Our objectives are at the end of the lesson, the student will able to first understand the right and coverage of workers, the registration and function of labor organization, and collective bargaining procedure, including union membership, certification election, and the rule of labor management councils. Second, explain the mechanics for grievance resolution, voluntary arbitration, and the Labor Management Corporation, including the role of the Bureau of Labor Relations, voluntary arbiters, tripartite council or NTIPS or TIPCs, and the process for dispute settlement. Third, recognize unfair labor practices and compliance requirements, penalties for a violation, and special provision for government employees and foreign assistants, ensuring the knowledge of the rule, protecting workers' rights, and promoting industrial peace. Today, I will be reporting on Article 218 or 211 of the Labor Code of the Philippines, particularly the declaration of policy under Book 5 Labor Relations. This provision outlined the guiding principle of the state in dealing with the labor relations, unions, and industrial peace. It tells us how the government views labor relation and what it wants to achieve through laws, policies, and programs. First, we have letter A, policy of the state, subsection A, to promote and emphasize the primacy of free collective bargaining and negotiation, including voluntary arbitration, mediation, and conciliation as a mode of settling labor or industrial dispute. Ibig sabihin nito, mas pinapahalaga ng batas ang pag-uusap at pagkakasundo sa pamamagitan ng collective bargaining, arbitration, or mediation bago pa man umabot sa mas seryosong labor dispute. Like, hindi na kinakailangang umabot sa court, strike, or lockout. Meron din mga pwedeng tumulong sa kanila katulad ng voluntary arbitration na if they cannot agree, they can go to voluntary arbitration where neutral third party sila na mga accredited na arbitrator or panel of arbitration na usually expert sa labor law. Then they will study the case and make a binding decision. Meron din tayong mediation or conciliation na kung saan they are step in to bring both sides together and find the middle ground. For example, a worker demand a 50 pesos wage increase pero sinabi ng management 30 pesos lang yung kaya nila. Instead going to strike or court, they negotiate. If no agreement, they bring a mediator. Then if still no agreement, then ask the voluntary arbitration to decide. Next, we have subsection B to promote free trade unionism as an instrument for enhancement of democracy and promotion of social justice and development. Ibig sabihin nito, law promotes free trade unionism and ibig sabihin, pinapahalaga ng batas ang karapatan ng workers na magtayo na or sumali sa mga union. Ang union ay nagsisilbing instrument para sa democracy kasi nagbibigay ito ng voice sa mga manggagawa. At the same time, it also promotes social justice and development dahil nagiging mas fair ang labanan sa pamagitan ng workers at management. For example, kung ang mga empleyado sa isang factory ay nakaranas ng unfair condition, pwede sila magbuo ng union. Kasi kapag isa lang ang nagreklamo o isang worker lang ang nagreklamo, baka hindi sila seryosohin ng management. Pero kung may union, mas malakas ang boses nila para mag-demand ng mas ligtas na workplace or dagdag na benefits. That's why unionism is seen as a tool for democracy and social justice. Next, we have subsection C to foster the free and voluntary organization of a strong and united labor movement. Ibig sabihin nito, the law supports the free and voluntary organization ng mga manggagawa para makabuo ng isang strong and united labor movement. Hindi ito sapilitan or hindi sapilitan ang pagsali dapat sa union, dapat kusang loob. Kapag united ang mga workers, mas magiging malakas ang kanilang collective voice sa pakikipag-usap sa management at sa gobyerno. For example, Kung meron maraming maliliit na union sa iba't ibang branches ng isang kumpanya, mahina ang boses nila kung kanya-kanya sila. Pero kapag nagsama-sama sila at nag-organize ng isang bigger federation or alliance, mas malakas ang kanilang power to negotiate for higher wages or better benefits. That's why the law encourages unity and voluntary organization para mas protected ang rights ng workers. Next, we have subsection D to promote the enlightenment of workers concerning their rights and obligation as a union members and as employees. So, ibig sabihin nito, the law promotes enlightenment or education ng mga manggagawa tungkol sa kanilang rights at obligation. Hindi lang dapat alam kung ano yung karapatan nila as a workers or as a member of unions, pero dapat alam din nila ang kanilang responsibilities. Kasi kung rights lang ang alam nila, pero hindi alam ang duties, magiging imbalance. For example, a worker should know na may karapatan siya sa wage at safe workplace, pero dapat alam din niya as a worker ang kanyang obligation like being punctual, doing the job properly, at pagrespeto sa company rules nila. At kung union member naman siya, alam niya dapat na may right siya to vote during union election or to question union decision. Pero obligasyon niya din magbayad ng dues at sumunod sa mga union policies. So, as a worker or as a union member, dapat balance. Alam mo ang rights mo at alam mo din yung duties. So next we have subsection E to provide an adequate administrative machinery for expeditious settlement of labor or industrial disputes. So ibig sabihin nito, the law ensure na mayroong administrative machinery o mga government offices and system para mapabilis na ma-resolve yung mga labor disputes. Hindi kinakailangan na lahat ng problema ay dumaan agad sa korte dahil matagal yon. Kaya mayroong mga agencies like DOLE or Department of Labor and Employment or NLRC or National Labor Relations Commission na nakatalaga para mag-handle ng mga labor cases in a faster and more practical way. So, for example, kung may illegal dismissal case ang isang manggagawa, hindi niya na kailangan agad pumunta ng regular courts. Pwede muna siyang pumunta or dumiretso sa DOLE o NLRC kung saan may labor arbiter na mag-aasikaso ng kaso at gagawa ng desisyon. Mas mabilis at mas mura ito kaysa sa mga regular courts. Next, we have subsection F to ensure a stable but dynamic and just industrial peace with a free collective bargaining as the Next, we have subsection F to ensure a stable and dynamic and just industrial peace with a free collective bargaining as the cornerstone of labor relations. So, ibig sabihin nito, the goal of the law is to maintain industrial peace. Ibig sabihin, maayos at tahimik na relasyon sa pagitan ng worker at employees. Pero dapat hindi lang basta stable, dapat dynamic. It just mean dapat flexible sa pagbabago pero laging makatarungan. At ang pinaka-foundation ng industrial peace ay ang free collective bargaining, yung proseso ng negotiation between management and workers para sa sahod, benefits at working conditions. For example, sa isang kumpanya, kung maayos ang collective bargaining agreement or CBA sa pagitan ng union at management, magiging stable ang relationship nila. Walang strike, walang lockout at tuloy-tuloy ang production. Pero kung may changes na kailangan like economic crisis, dapat flexible at dynamic din ang agreement para sa makahanap ng solusyon for both sides. Next, we have subsection G to ensure the participation of workers in decision and policy-making process affecting their rights, duties, and welfare. So, ibig sabihin nito, the law ensure na ang mga workers ay mga bosses sa participation sa paggawa ng mga decision at policies na directly nakaka-apekto sa kanilang rights, duties at welfare. Hindi pwedeng basa-basa na mag-desisyon ang management nang hindi kinukonsulta ang empleyado, lalo na kung ang decision ay may malaking epekto sa kanilang trabaho, sahod or benepisyo. For example, kung magpapatupad ng kumpanya ng bagong policy tungkol sa working hours or safety rules, dapat kinukonsulta rin ng mga management sa workers, minsan sa pamamagitan ng kanilang union representative or labor management council. Sa ganitong paraan, na isasama ang perspective ng mga empleyado bago pa man magkaroon ng final decision ang management. Letter B of Article 218 or 211 Declaration of Policy to encourage a truly democratic method of regulating the relationship between employers and employees by means of agreements fairly entered into through collective bargaining. No court or administrative agency or official shall have the power to set or fix wages, rates of pay, hours of work, or other terms and conditions of employment, except as otherwise provided under this code. Ibig sabihin nito, the law encourages a democratic method sa pag-regulate ng relasyon ng employers at employees at ang paraan para gawin ito ay through collective bargaining. Ibig sabihin ang mga agreements ay fairly entered into ng both sides. Kaya walang korte, government agency o official na pwedeng basta-basta magtakda ng sahod, oras ng trabaho o kondisyon ng employment maliban na lang kung merong specific na nakasaad sa labor code. In short, ang labor relation ay nakabase sa kasunduan ng dalawang panig at hindi lang sa utos ng gobyerno. So overall, makikita natin ang Declaration of Policy ay naglalayo na mapanatili ang maayos at makatarungan ang relationship ng employees at employers. Pinapahalaga nito ang collective bargaining, free trade unionism, voluntary arbitration, mediation at conciliation bilang pangunahing paraan para marisolba ang mga labor disputes. Sa ganitong paraan, naiiwasan ang strike, lockouts at matagal na case sa korte at napapangalagaan ng industrial peace, social justice at development. Ang mensahe ng batas ay malinaw, mas mainam pa ang pag-uusap at pagkakasundo kaysa sa alitan. Now we move to the next article, which is Article 219 or 212 of the Labor Code, also known as the definition. This part is very important because it clarifies the key terms na ginamit sa labor relation para siyang dictionary ng labor code kasi kung hindi malinaw ang mga terms, magkakaroon ng confusion sa implementation ng batas. So, let's go through each definition one by one. Article 219 or 212 definition, subsection A, Commission means the National Labor Relation Commission or any of its division, as this case may be as provided under this code. So, ibig sabihin nito, kapag sinabing commission sa Labor Code, ang tinutukoy ay ang National Labor Relation Commission o NLRC or pwede din tumukoy sa kahit alin sa mga division nito. Ang NLRC ang government body na nakatalaga para mag-handle ng mga labor disputes. Halimbawa, illegal dismissal cases, wage claims, o iba pang employer-employee conflicts. Dito dinadala ang kaso bago pa umabot sa mas mataas na korte. Kapag may nagsampa ng kaso, ang NLRC ang nag-iimbestiga at nagdesisyon kung legal o illegal ba ang dismissal. Next is subsection B. Bureau means the Bureau of Labor Relations and or the Labor Relations Division in regional offices established under Presidential Decree Number 442 as amended. Ibig sabihin nito kapag sinabing Bureau sa Labor Code, ang tinutukoy ay ang Bureau of Labor Relations or BLR o kaya naman yung Labor Relations Division sa mga regional offices ng DOLE. Ang Bureau ay siyang nag-o-oversee ng mga union, collective bargaining agreement, at iba pang mga bagay na may kinalaman sa labor management relations. Sila rin ang nagre-rehistro at nagmamonitor ng mga unions. Next ay subsection C, Board means the National Conciliation and Mediation Board established under Executive Order Number 126. Ibig sabihin nito kapag sinabing board, ang tinutukoy ay ang National Conciliation and Mediation Board or NCMB. Ang NCMB ang government agency na nakafocus sa conciliation at mediation. Ibig sabihin sila yung tumutulong para hindi lumala ang conflict between workers and management. Layunin nila na makahanap ng kasunduan bago pa man umabot sa strike, lockout, or korte. Next ay subsection D, council, means the tripartite voluntary arbitration advisory council established under Executive Order number 126. So, ibig sabihin nito, kapag sinabing council, ang tinutukoy ang tripartite voluntary arbitration advisory council. Ang role ng council ay magbigay ng guidance at advice tungkol sa voluntary arbitration. Ang tripartite, ibig sabihin ay may tatlong sektor na kasama, which are government, employers, at workers. Pinapayo nila kung paano mas mapapalakas ang voluntary arbitration bilang paraan ng pagresolba ng mga labor dispute. For example, kung may mga problema o gaps sa sistema ng voluntary arbitration, pwede magbigay ng recommendation ang council sa DOLE para ma-improve ito. Dahil ang tripartite, sila ang nakakakuha ng perspective ng tatlong side, government, employers, at employees, para maging fair ang mga solution. Subsection E, employer, includes any person acting in the interest of employer, directly or indirectly. The term shall not include any labor organization of any of its officer or agents except when acting as employer. So, ibig sabihin nito, kapag sinabing employer, hindi lang ito tumutukoy sa mismong may-ari ng kumpanya. Kasama rin dito ang kahit sinong tao na kumikilos in the interest of the employer, direkta man o hindi. Pero malinaw na sinasabi ng batas na hindi kasama ang labor organization o union officer bilang employer, maliban na lang kung sila mismo ang kumikilos bilang employer. Halimbawa, kung may empleyado sila sa kanilang opisina. Another example, ang isang kumpanyang manager or HR head ay kasama sa definition ng employer kasi they act in behalf of the company. Pero kung union president ang pinag-uusapan, hindi na siya employer. Maliban na lang kung may empleyado rin ng union office at siya ang nagpapasahod. Next, we have subsection F, employee, includes any person in the employ of an employer. The term shall not be limited to the employees of a particular employer unless this code so explicitly states. It shall include any individual whose work has ceased as a result of or any connection with any current labor dispute or because of any unfair labor practices. It has not obtained any other substitutely equivalent and regular employment. So, ibig sabihin nito, kapag sinabing employee, tumutukoy ito sa kahit sinong taon na nagtatrabaho para sa isang employer. Hindi lang ito limitado sa empleyado ng isang particular na kumpanya, maliban na lang kung malinaw na sinasabi ng labor code. Kasama pa rin sa definition ng employee ang taong tumigil sa trabaho dahil sa isang labor dispute, halimbawa strike, o dahil sa unfair labor practice ng employer, basta't wala pa siyang nahanap na ibang regular at equivalent na trabaho. Next is subsection G, labor organization, means any union or association of employees which exists in a whole or in a part of the purpose of collective bargaining or of dealing with the employer's concerned terms and condition of employment. Ibig sabihin ng labor organization ay tumutukoy sa samahan ng mga empleyado gaya ng union or association na nabuo para makipag-usap at makipag-negotiate sa employer tungkol sa sahod, oras ng trabaho, at mga iba pang kondisyon ng kanilang employment. In short, sila yung mga representative ng worker para ipaglaban yung kanilang karapatan at kapakanan. Subsection H, legitimate labor organization, means labor organization duly registered with the Department of Labor and Employment and includes any branch or local thereof. So, ibig sabihin lahat ng legitimate labor organization ay isang union na rehistrado sa Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE. Hindi sapat na basta samahan lang sila. Dapat dumadaan sila sa tamang registration para kilalanin sila sa batas. Next, we have subsection I. A company union means any labor organization whose formation, function, or administration has been assisted by an act defined as unfair labor practice by this code. Ang company union ay yung mga union na ginagawa o tinutulungan ng mismong management o employer. Ito ay hindi pinapurbahan ng batas kasi hindi ito tunay na representasyon ng mga empleyado. Ang tawag dito ay unfair labor practice. So, halimbawa, kung ang kumpanya mismo na ang nag-organize ng union para kontrolin ang mga workers at maiwasan ang totoong laban ng union, yun ay isang company union or tinatawag nating company union. We have subsection J, bargaining representative means a legitimate labor organization whether or not employed by the employer. Ang ibig sabihin nito, ang bargaining representative ay tumutukoy sa isang legitimate labor organization na binigyan ng karapatang makipag-collective bargaining sa employer. Pwede itong mga empleyado mismo ng kumpanya o legitimate labor organization mula sa labas ng kinilala na mga workers. Next, we have subsection K, unfair labor practice means any unfair labor practice as expressly defined by this code. So, ibig sabihin, ang unfair labor practice or ULP ay tumutukoy sa mga aksyon na nakasaad sa labor code bilang labag sa batas. Kasama dito ang mga gawain ng employer o mga union na lumalabag sa karapatan ng mga manggagawa o sa tamang proseso ng pakikipag-usap. So, ang halimbawa ng unfair labor practice ay yung mga pinagbabawal ng mga employer, yung kanilang empleyado na sumali sa union, or kaya naman ay yung mga empleyado na pilit na sumali doon sa union para lang sa kanilang sariling kagustuhan. Next, we have subsection L, labor dispute. So, includes any controversy or matter concerning terms and a condition of employment or the association representation of person in negotiating, fixing, maintaining, changing, or arranging the terms and condition of employment regardless of whether the disputants stand in the proximate relation of employer and employee. Ang ibig sabihin nito, ang labor dispute ay tumutukoy sa kahit anong hindi pagkakaunawaan na may kinalaman sa sahod, oras ng trabaho, benefits, condition ng employment, or representation ng mga empleyado sa collective bargaining. Kahit hindi direktang employer o empleyado ang nagkakaalitan, basta't ang issue ay tungkol sa terms and condition of employment, pasok pa rin ito sa definition. Next, subsection M, managerial employee. So, is one who is vested with the power of prerogatives to lay down and execute management policies and or to hire, transfer, suspended, lay off, recall, discharge, assign, or discipline employees. So, ang managerial employee ay yung mga empleyado na may kapangyarihan na magpatupad ng mga management policy o gumagawa ng mahalagang desisyon. Sila rin yung mga may authority sa pag-hire, transfer, suspend, lay off, discharge, assign, or discipline ng ibang empleyado. Kagaya ng HR manager. So, may kapangyarihan sila mag-decide kung sino yung ay atanggapin nila or matatanggal sa trabaho. Next, we have subsection N, supervisory employees are those who in the interest of employer effectively recommend such as managerial action if the exercise of such authority is not merely rhetorical or clerical in the nature but requires the use of independent judgment. All the employees not falling within this definition are considered as rank and file employees for the purpose of this book. So, ang supervisory employees naman ay yung mga empleyado na hindi direktang gumagawa ng managerial action pero may mga kapangyarihan na mag-recommend ng mga desisyon na may mabigat na trabaho. Importante ang kanilang recommendation ay dapat ginagamitan ng independent judgment, hindi lang basta clerical or rutinery. Halimbawa, kung hindi sila managerial or supervisory, sila ay kabilang sa rank and file employees. Subsection O, strike means a temporary stoppage of work by the concerted action of employees as a result of industrial or labor dispute. So, ang strike ay yung pasamantalang paghinto ng trabaho ng mga empleyado bilang sama-samang action kapag may labor dispute. Halimbawa, kung hindi nagkasundo ang kumpanya at mga empleyado tungkol sa sahod, nagdesisyon ang mga manggagawa na sabay-sabay silang hindi pumasok bilang protesta. Ito ay tinatawag na strike. Next, subsection P, lockout means a temporary refusal of an employer to furnish or work as a result of industrial or labor dispute. So, ang lockout naman ay yung ginagawa ng employer kung saan ayaw niyang magbigay ng trabaho pasamantala bilang tugon sa labor dispute. Halimbawa, kapag ang management ay nagsara ng pabrika para pigilin ang mga empleyado na magtrabaho habang ongoing ang labor dispute, ito ay lockout. Subsection Q, inter-union dispute including all disputes or grievances arising for any violation of or disagreement over any provision of the Constitution and bylaws of a union, including any violation for the rights and condition of union membership provided for this code. Kung may miyembro ng union na sinuspende ng walang basihan at nagkaroon ng alitan sa loob ng union kung tama ba yun or hindi, ito'y tinatawag na internal union dispute. So, subsection 1, strikebreaker means any person who obstructs, impedes, or interferes with a by force, violation, or coercion, threats, or intimidation any peaceful picketing affecting wages, hours, or condition of work, or any the exercise of the right of self-organization or collective bargaining. So, yung strikebreaker ay yung tao na humahadlang sa isang mapayapang picket or strike gamit yung dahas or panlilinlang or pananakot. Halimbawa, may grupo na ay natakot yung mga nagreklamo ng manggagawa or nag-picket or strike sa labas ng pabrika. So, ang tawag dun ay strike breakers. Last, subsection S, strike area means the establishment, warehouses, depots, plants, or offices, including the sites or premises used as a runaway shops of the employer struck against, as well as the immediate vicinity actually used by picketing strikers in moving to and fro before all points of entrance to and exit from the said establishment. Ang strike area ay tumutukoy sa lugar na kung saan isinasagawa ang strike or picketing, kasama dito yung mismong establishment ng employer, warehouses, depots at pati na rin yung paligid na ginagamit ng mga nagbabalga para sa picketing. So to summarize, Article 219 or 212 give us the key definition we need to understand labor relation. It defines the institution like the commission, bureau, board, or council, the main actors like employers and employees, and the labor organization, and important concept like company union, bargaining representative, and unfair labor practice. So without this clear definition, magiging mahirap i-apply ang labor code kasi hindi malinaw kung sino at ano ang sakop ng batas. So that's all for my report. Sana may naintindihan kayo at may natutunan. Thank you.